Hi there, Dave here with a video about persistence, about data persistence, the ability to be able to store data and be able to get it back whenever we want. We got to do that for our flight log. So we showed how we could use pickling to do this with Python. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pickling code again. Once again, we had to create it before we can read it. So here we've used the pickle dump method to save the array lines into a file named testdata1. And after we do that, we go ahead and use the pickle load, and we go ahead and load it into lines. And what we're going to load is that file after we open it in read binary mode. So once again, it's a one-liner to get the reconstructed array, and it's basically a one-liner to save it. So how do we use this technology in our flight log? Well, we have to save it first. So what I did was I pulled the code out that we used to load our initial test data, and I put that into this all alone. So I went ahead and imported pickle, because I need the pickle dump method here. Then I have an array of flights, and I go ahead and I create 3 strings representing flight data, and I add those strings, I append them to the array, so that now I have an array with 3 elements in it. And then I go ahead and I save that array called flights out in a file called flightdata.bin binary, and it is a binary file. I'm opening it for write binary. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to have the data that I my flight log 3A, and then anytime that I add something, because that's all I do is add, anytime I change that array by adding to it, I also want to go ahead and save it. So let's take a look at the changes we needed to make over here in 3A. So up at the top, you can see that change. We have to import pickle. Everything down here is the same. And we come down to the main. This is where this used to say flights equals left square brace, right square brace. It was the an array containing nothing. And then we executed the load test data. Well, now we don't need to do that. What we do instead is we set our array equal to the execution of the load function, the pickle load, passing in the same file that we saved over here, flightdata.bin, which is the one that we created, flightdata.bin over here. So we're reading it in, and then we're going ahead and adding sites automatically. That was have to do with our site array, our valid sites. And then we go about our business is no different. We just have now our array. We can go ahead and work with it. So we said the only other change was that, well, we had to go ahead and write it out every time we changed it. And the only change we're making in this program is we're adding to it. So down here where it says add flight data, so what we're going to do is we're not only going to add the flight after we make the new string, we're going to append to flights, we also go ahead and dump flights again out to flightdata.bin, and we do that every time we change the array. Therefore, our file always is in sync with our code. Okay, that's it. Take care.